Hello, my friends. So this situation remains extremely tense. However, today there are many interesting news items. So Macron called world leaders cowards and urged them to step up in the war against Russia.
Nous abordons à coup sûr un moment de notre Europe où il conviendra de ne pas être lâche. On ne veut jamais voir les drames qui viennent. On ne veut jamais voir ce qui se joue. Et je crois que nos deux pays ont conscience de ce qui est à l'œuvre en Europe. Du fait que la guerre est revenue sur notre sol, que des puissances devenues inarrêtables sont en train d'étendre la menace, chaque jour de nous attaquer nous-mêmes davantage.
That's a strong statement. Now, let's move on to the situation on the front line. And today, bad news has come from several directions as the occupiers have managed to advance significantly. Let's start with the Bakhmut direction. It has been confirmed that the Russians have advanced by 800 meters here. They have come dangerously close to Klishchiivka. Also, yesterday evening, the General Staff announced that the Ukrainian forces repelled an attack in the area of the village of Bila Hora. This is certainly a very concerning situation because if the Russians can push so far from the front line, it's very alarming. Meanwhile, shelling continues, but only tactical battles are happening in Ivanivska and Bogdanivka. The Russians are not conducting major assaults, but even though the Ukrainian forces report that they are gradually making progress.
According to Ivanovsky, in the southeastern part, the Pyadors flew into 2 infantry fighting vehicles and a tank. The equipment was destroyed/hit, but the infantry dismounted and occupied 1 building. They are no longer there, at least not alive. In the eastern part, the enemy occupied part of Sadova Street. Currently, heavy fighting is taking place and the enemy does not stop attacking the village in groups of 15 to 17 creatures.
In the Avdiivka direction, unfortunately, the situation is even worse. 22 attacks within a day. The occupiers are exerting significant pressure across the entire front line, so they have managed to advance significantly in the areas of Berdychi, Orlivka and Semenivka. In fact, half of the village of Orlivka has fallen under Russian control. Their advancement here amounted to 3 kilometers and 200 meters. Additionally, they have approached Berdychi densely, and battles are ongoing for the village. So their advancement here amounted to 1 kilometer. Similarly, the occupiers have advanced quite significantly through the fields towards the village of Semenivka, with their advancement here totaling 2 kilometers. Furthermore, there are assaults ongoing in Tonenka. Overall, the situation in this sector of the front has seriously deteriorated. However, the Ukrainian forces continue to fight and hold the defense to the maximum extent possible. Moreover, as before, the Russians have sufficient forces to attacks on Pervomaiske and Nevelske, although they haven't achieved success here within a day. In the Marinka direction, the occupiers have also managed to advance closer to Krasnohorivka. As we can see, the statement about the Russians breaking through to the outskirts is confirmed, and they have entrenched themselves immediately on several outer streets of the city, so their advancement here amounted to 2 kilometers and 600 meters. The situation is very dire, and it's very sad that the Russians have started advancing again. Moreover, battles for Georgiivka and Novomikhailivka are confirmed. However, officially, as before, it's not confirmed that the Russians are in the center of the village. Therefore, the front line remains unchanged. But in fact, battles are taking place in the heart of the settlement. And yesterday, the Russians once again decided to publish photos where they are raising the Russian flag on the building of the village council. Also, along this direction, the number of shelling incidents is as high as possible. In the Vuhledar direction, the occupiers didn't achieve success towards Urozhaine, and all attacks have ceased. However, the Russians are attempting to advance again towards Prechestivka, and shelling continues along the front line. 5 attacks were conducted within a day, but no successes were achieved, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Zaporizhia direction, assaults on the village of Robotina have resumed, and shelling continues as before. However, within a day, the Russians haven't achieved any success, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Kherson direction, shelling of the right bank continues, and assaults on the village of Ukrainki are once again reported. However, the Russians haven't achieved any success, as all their attempts to clear the left bank are unsuccessful, resulting only in their own losses. In the Siversk direction, the occupiers continue shelling, but no new attacks are recorded, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Kremina direction, fighting around the village of Terny persists, with 5 attacks recorded within a day. Although shelling continues, there is no significant activity, and the front line remains unchanged. However, unconfirmed reports suggest Russian forces are attempting to advance toward the village, awaiting further confirmation. In the Svatove direction, the occupiers continue shelling Novoyegorivka, but no offensive actions are taken, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Kupiansk direction, occupiers conducted shelling along the entire front line, with reports of Russian aircraft launching guided bombs in the Kupiansk direction. So, overall, today brings a lot of bad news from the front. Unfortunately, the issue of increasing support remains unresolved, and each day it becomes increasingly challenging for the Ukrainian forces to hold their defense. Moreover, despite previous assumptions, it's not just Ukrainian equipment that continues to destroy the occupiers. Russians also destroy a considerable amount of Ukrainian military equipment. Unfortunately, confirmation of the destroyed HIMARS has appeared online.
Servicemen of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation destroyed an American HIMARS multiple launch rocket system, MLRS, in the rear area of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the Donetsk sector of the front, the commander of one of the Russian units told RIA Novosti. The agency had at its disposal footage of the destruction of the launcher, taken from a drone. Forbes called the destruction of HIMARS a heavy loss for the armed forces of Ukraine. The publication clarifies that a Russian drone spotted a HIMARS launcher and support vehicles near the village of Nikonarivka, located about 40 kilometers from the line of contact. Shortly thereafter, a Russian missile destroyed the MLRS. It is not reported whether the crew of HIMARS died as a result of the attack. In any case, this is a heavy loss for the Ukrainian army. Forbes writes and recalls that the United States has transferred a total of 39 M142 HIMARS launchers to Ukraine.
As evident, the occupiers are also actively trying to track and destroy the equipment they fear the most. Additionally, today, the White House responded to Macron's statement about sending troops to Ukraine.
Controversial remarks he made last week about sending troops to Ukraine. So what do you make of this rhetoric? Do you think the time has come for stronger language on Ukraine, or is this not helpful?
I'm not going to parse President Macron's words. I mean, he certainly has every right and ability to speak for himself and his views. All I can do is speak for President Biden, Commander-in-Chief, and the President has been clear. We have been extraordinarily strong in leading international efforts to support Ukraine for the last 2 years. We need Congress to help right now pass that supplemental so we can continue that strong leadership and support a coalition of more than 50 nations that the United States put together to support Ukraine. He's also been very clear since the very beginning of this war. There's not going to be U.S. troops on the ground fighting inside Ukraine. And you know what? President Zelensky isn't asking for that. He's just asking for the tools and capabilities. He's never asked for foreign troops to fight for his country. He and his troops want to do that, but they need the tools, and that's what we need to help with.
And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.